little intimate lunch. Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, Alicia Cordell.
Good to see you, Alicia.
Nice to see you again, North Carolina.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Lacetta from here
Bonnie,
in Indiana.
so nice to see you.
Nice to
Thank
see
you.
you.
It's an honor, sir.
Good.
Gary from
Saw you last night.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm Raisa Bill
From Philly.
In Philly.
I'm right.
I'm thrilled. I'm Ben Cherry from Albuquerque by way of Alaska.
By way of Alaska.
Yeah, so
I
I lived
was-
25 years in Alaska, so.
I saw that you were a commercial fisherman for a
And
while.
commercial fisherman. You like to fish, I understand.
Well, no, I like the idea of fishing. I'm not a very good
I think
fisherman. Well, listen, why don't we all go pass, let's pass all the food around and make sure that everybody's got something on their plates, and then we can talk. And we're going to kick these guys out in a little bit. So Ben, now you were in education, but were you fishing at the same time? Would it be during the summers that you were going
Let
on?
me back up a little bit and tell you how I ended up there and
How
so
you ended
forth.
up in Alaska.
It's kind of an interesting story. I had a brother that went to Alaska, and he said there's a job opening in this small Eskimo village in rural Alaska, and because of my experiences in the Peace Corps, I said this fits right in with what I want to do with my life. And so my wife and I went to these Yupik villages in Alaska, and we lived there, and our kids were born in the villages, and she taught and I taught, and then finally stayed around so long, I guess, that I was school superintendent and did a lot of community work, grassroots work, as you call it, and the same way in the Peace Corps, and tried to motivate people and kids to make a change in the villages. And
That's unbelievable. Well, what kinds of things are people talking about that you think those of us on the campaign trail don't hear enough of?
When you're in office, I guess what I want to know is the whole idea of accountability, of transparency, of this change that we're going to make happen in Washington. What can each of us do then? You know what I mean? To remain connected, to remain tapped into really making the change.
I mean, part of my job will be to open up government. Because I think this has been the most secretive administration.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't, share information. It has put more things under classified documents than any other administration in history. When the American people don't know what's going on, it's hard to hold government accountable because you don't know the facts. When people know the facts, their instincts are good and they make good decisions. And I think they know, where the country should be going. So, posting legislation on the internet. I've already passed a law where the federal budget is posted on the internet, so that any dollar that's spent by the federal government, you can find out is there a bridge to nowhere being built somewhere, or is there a no-bid contract going to Halliburton, or all that stuff will be on the internet. People can access it.
I totally understand, but like government reaching out and open government and everything, but I don't want there to be like drop the ball on the aspect of people either. Like people really have to get more motivated to do their own thing also.
If you don't work with people so that they internalize change, where they feel, that they've got to be a part of it, that it's not being done to them, but they are the ones who they are with you, making change, then it's not going to stick. It doesn't work. And that's why, when I talk about education, I always talk about parents and community getting involved, because, we can pour all the money we want into schools, but if there's not a change in attitude and approach, then, it's not a either or thing, it's a both and thing. And how are you, what's happening in terms of art education? And do you talk to your colleagues, or?
Well, we're pretty excited about the possibility of some major reforms happening with the No Child Left Behind, but because that's certainly put pressure on the schooling systems to focus on certain areas of education, and I feel that there's a shifting away from that mentality now. There's like growing appreciation for how important the arts are in education. In a similar experience, like you're trying to move and make change in your way, and we're trying to get in there and make change in that education system. But
I don't know how it is in Pennsylvania, but the first few weeks of school here, month to 6 weeks, they don't learn anything. They review everything they did the year before just to prepare for the test.
Right. Yeah, makes no sense.
There's no point to it.
Yeah. And
There's no point to it.
By the time they're done with it, now you're already getting close to Thanksgiving.
Exactly. They're that
So
far
now-
behind for this year.
And then this is that break, and then there's Christmas. No, you hear this from teachers
Yeah.
where they feel like
And their hands are
they only get a
tied.
few weeks of instruction on things they want to teach before the Christmas break.
Right.
I am very excited about affordable education.
Yes.
I think that is absolutely
Yes.
key.
Have they already started college?
Both my daughters have. My oldest daughter was very fortunate. She went to the North Carolina School of Science and Math as she was about to go into her senior year. Congress passed a law to provide tuition assistance for every student that graduated. The program only lasted, though, for about 3 years, and now it's gone. So with my baby girl, she graduated early. She took all the honor classes. She didn't qualify for anything. She didn't get the scholarship. We didn't qualify for any kind of financial aid.
She'd be somebody who, would directly benefit from a $4,000 tuition credit.
Absolutely, and she already does the community service.
No, look, this is going to be a top priority, and it's not just important for the future of these kids, it's important for all our futures, because our economy is going to depend on the quality of our workforce.
Right.
Well, listen, everybody, you guys have been wonderful company, and
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Absolutely.
it. And just keep on plugging away out there, and remember that what I said, that this is about us and not about me.
I had one little note here. It's on page 66 of your book about authenticity and empathy, and I verified that, so I'm happy to go back. So.
Well, I appreciate that. Actually, I'll be honest with you. One of the things I'm proud about is that I don't feel like I've changed too much during the course of this campaign. I mean,
Must be more tired.
other than being sleepier.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm better on the stump, and when you speak as often as I do, you can sort of turn it on and off. Although you still, trip up sometimes. But basically, I haven't started taking myself too seriously. I take the work very seriously and the need for change seriously.
Just
I'm
real quickly,
impressed
what
that-
do we need to do, to help you win this election?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, just what you guys have been doing, spread the word, send out emails, talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors. You are so much more credible than any TV ad in terms of being a messenger, because people believe their friends. They get a sense of who people are. This is a long journey, and it's got bumps, and there's some turbulence sometimes, and then it smooths out. And the one thing that you really realize the longer you're in this, though, is that it's not about the candidate so much as it is sort of what happens around him or her.
It's part of this big wave.
Yeah,
moving
exactly.
through there.
That's exactly right. And
Hopefully it turns
you're
the
sort
right
right.
direction.
You're sort of you like to pretend that you're steering it, but there are forces larger than us at work, and which actually strengthens my faith. I actually spend a lot more time thinking, the long term, and God, and family, and successive generations. It really does give you perspective when you're sort of seeing so much of the country and
Sure.
meeting so many people. We will edit out any.
So you can edit these,
got
okay.
like a big piece of lettuce in your teeth or something. We'll edit that out.